All right, you ready to rock?
Yes, sir.
DJ Toasty Z, hip hop made me do it. You already know. We're live in the
We in
booth
here.
with local sensation, local artist Dezmond.
Local sensation. I'm sick. What's going on, my man?
How you doing?
Oh, I'm tired these days, but I'm
Yeah.
all right, man. I'm all right.
Working hard?
Of course.
Working
of
hard or
course.
hardly working?
A little bit of both at times. I'm not gonna lie to you.
For sure, for sure. So, my first exposure to you actually was at the UMass Soul Fest event.
Ah, yeah, Cypher.
Yeah, and I remember, like, there was a lot of dope MCs there, but you definitely were a standout MC. It was funny because it was so loosely organized.
Yeah. Nah, it was just like it was a last minute thing, and like people had like we'd been thinking about doing the event for a little while. I want to say like a few weeks before.
For sure.
So people that had a lot of time to kind of get their verses together. But I'd been working on a few different songs and different projects at the time. So my verse kind of came like last minute. And like before, if anybody saw me like before the cypher even started, I was cramming my life away trying to get my verse down pat. I was like, oh my god,
Gotta
and,
come
like,
correct.
you feel me? Like I had to come right at some point. And then like I didn't know we was doing rounds. I thought we was doing like just one verse. Everybody does it, and then we finish. And then come to find out, I said, okay, next round. I said, hold on. Y'all for real? And then it was just off the top from there. And I was like,
Yeah, and honestly, that was what's funny. Is like the first round, they're like, all right, just go as long as you can go, and like and like you did that, and you just kept going. Like there was two different points where you had to stop because the crowd went so crazy. I look back, there was two bars. Bars hitting like Ray Rice in the elevator. That was the crowd was like, oh shit, and then get more hang time than sleeves on an amputee.
I get more hang time than sleeves on an amputee. I'm with that. How your brand need a brand new feed with more digits, but then it's standing his. Oh my god! Now that verse was so fire. Oh
Yeah,
my god.
and you were like the crowd went crazy. And you're like, well, I'm not done. I still got more to go. Like I'll do this a cappella. And so it's like people just went for as long as it, and then like, all right, round two, and you're like,
yeah.
And then like now this round for some reason now we only have 30 seconds.
Like it was so oddly layered. Like it was so weird to me. But I mean, granted, shout out to Victor Cruz, because Victor Cruz is a phenomenal rapper in that regard and a really great freestyler. Came out the cut. I was completely unaware. But, oh damn! I was like, damn.
Yeah,
okay.
he was fired too. Yeah,
you feel me? But that event in and of itself was just all types of crazy, just from the way that it laid out and from how, like, I remember I was so taken aback. Like I thought the bars that I had were kind of light, and like I would spit one and people just I was, oh my god, I was not expecting it.
Yeah, I thought it was crazy because like I said, the first round was go until you could stop. The second round was 30 seconds, and then they're like, so they went from like, let's do a top five. They're like top five, then they went to top three, and then they decided to do a top two. It's like, after doing a top three, it was kind of ridiculous. But I was like, I'm surprised you still had bars after that, because it seemed like you used up, it's so much fire in the first round that like, I was surprised you still had like some fire left. You know?
Feel me? It had to kind of, it died off a little bit, but I was still like I was going off a little bit of freestyles, a little bit just trying to see what I could catch. Yeah. And just I'm not gonna lie, I was real lucky that people were still like really just vibing with the flow in that regard.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Just for the people that don't know, who is Dezmond?
Well, Dezmond and myself is a 21-year-old rapper based out of Boston, Massachusetts. Just but your everyday lyrical spiritual miracle kind of guy. I rap
in the swimming pool.
You in the swimming pool? You feel me? I rap. I'm a lyricist rapper. I'm more so just the kind of guy who I like to convey messages and convey meanings through my music, while at the same time maintaining an air of just kind of something that you can vibe to at whatever time that you want.
For sure.
From just different things like, let's say, any of my old songs from like my Shook Ones freestyle, or my one, like the song on my SoundCloud that's got the most plays right now, Salsa, to some newer tracks that I put out off of this new EP I have called Perfect Timing. So it's a lot of different sounds that I can purvey, but the one thing that never really changes is the lyricism. So
yeah, for sure. And I noticed that is like, there's a lot of lyricists that are just like on some like 90s boom bap shit where it's like, nothing like that crazy, but you're a lyricist, but you have like a lot of different vibes, and it's also it's like, a lot of people say vibe music. It's like vibe music, but also lyrical music, which is a good balance to strike.
You feel me? It's a really it's something that like, cause I've been writing music for a little while, and it's something that's kind of, it's been a medium that I've been trying to reach and like really trying to get to and find like that nice balance. And now that I've kind of found that, it's just not only kind of maintaining it, but like stepping up as a musician and kind of like as an artist and getting my songs better. Because I know the lyrics will always be there. Now it's just a matter of finally getting the song quality down pat.
Yeah.
And I think I'm on the right direction, the right track for that. So.
For sure. Like, and there's so many great MCs that are great spitters that can't necessarily put together a good song.
Exactly.
And like, you know, that's a skill in itself, you know.
Absolutely. And like I said, especially on some of like the newer stuff that I'm working on, it's more so song focused now, not just like trying to put like 2 bars and then hook chorus, whatever. It's the same lyrical quality, the same lyrical content, but now it's just a little bit more like stylistically, it's just a little bit more focused on the sonics. But trust and believe, it's still fire ass music. I'm not gonna lie.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to it. Now, so like I said, so you were from Boston originally. Like, what part of Boston?
Yeah. Well, I was born. I'm from a few places right now. So I was born in Roxbury, West Roxbury.
All right.
And moved from West Roxbury to Dedham. Moved from Dedham to Westwood. Then moved out to California.
All right.
And lived in San Diego for a little while. Then we moved back here. Moved out to New York. And moved out back here. So now I'm living in this place like near Foxborough called Walpole, so you know.
Word. Yeah. What is there a reason you moved around so much, or?
Primarily just my pops' work. Like we really just kind of been moving all around the place because you know my dad just happens to be good at whatever the hell it is that he does.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
So, oh my God, nah. So you know we just kind of moved around a lot.
He's a hot commodity, free agent.
You feel me? my man, he's a man of the business. You feel me? But nah, that's like, and just like on a random side note for that's really where I kind of get my work ethic from in that regard.
Sure.
Just kind of like maintaining an air of not only keeping like your own integrity intact, but at the same time kind of giving people what they want and making sure that you know what the people around you are providing and what they really want to hear from you and how to keep your own self intact while providing that. So shout out to old Pops. But,
shout out to Pops for sure. Let's go over like the little bit of the origin story of Dezmond. Like, how'd you get here? How'd you get into music? What's your story?
Okay, so I've been into music for a little while. Like I'm a very introverted individual, right? Like I'm not a party person. I'm not really somebody you'll see out and about on a constant basis. That's more so my man Nehemiah's job over there. You feel me? All he's supposed to be doing. He's supposed to be the extrovert for me. You feel me?
Sure.
But I've always been a kind of quiet, introverted individual. But one thing I've always been really good at is just kind of writing and articulating myself through words.
For sure.
But I never really liked to speak. So when I was like 10, 11 years old, I kind of had some trials and tribulations in my life that kind of made me realize that maybe I should start kind of writing things down. Not even like just lyrics and things like that, but maybe kind of poetry, or maybe just through just me just writing shit down. Just journaling or just like logging shit. And that kind of turned into me. It's like, okay, like I see what I'm like. It felt good, but at the same time, I was like, I can do more with this.
For sure.
And I started writing just random little anecdotes about my life, this, that, and the third. And then when I was like 13, 14, I started ghostwriting because I started realizing that I would show people these like little mini like 4, 8 bar little things that I would write. They'd be like, yo, that's kind of wild. I'm like, oh, well, you think I could be good at it? They're like, yeah. So I was like, okay, let me see what I can do with it. And I started ghostwriting when I was around 13, 14. And I got put on by a couple of other artists just as a ghostwriter. And they were like, oh, most definitely. If you're really willing to push this for yourself, it's really something that I think you should invest in. And it took me a little while to kind of gain that confidence to be like, you know what? This is something I want to do for myself and really just want to make music and find that like different definition for myself of being an artist. And that was primarily and this is like just fast forward from like 13 to like 18, 19.
For sure.
And this is, that's mainly in part to this dude who was an old member of Visionary Music Group.
Okay,
Logic. Shout out to Sylvan the Q now, or when he was on Visionary, it was Yes I Am Quest. But I had a conversation with him, and I showed him just like a few of my bars and stuff, and he was like, yo, like, you could really like kind of do this if you really, really wanted to put the time into it.
Yeah.
And at the time, and still like to like right now, that's like a mentor, like an idol to me.
For
so
sure.
Like, to hear him kind of say that was like, Like
Yeah.
I can do this. You feel me?
Yeah.
And that's when I started really taking the music a bit more seriously and
For
like
sure.
being like, okay, let me actually work to find like some good people to keep around me and to like push me to be a better artist and like a better person as well.
Definitely.
Because I think very much so that the music you put out is a personification of the man that you represent.
Yeah.
So all the artistry that you're gonna see coming from me
Mm-hmm.
is an exact representation of how I am as a person, from like the rapidy rap shit to
Yeah.
the salsa, you want to dance your ass off type shit.
Yeah.
So you feel me? All of that kind of stuff. And I don't know, like that's kind of really how my music kind of started. Like I started off listening to like big influences of mine are like Mick Jenkins, Isaiah
Mhm.
Rashad, Logic, all-timers probably Andre 3000, Hove, of course. Dudes like that, like people Lupe Fiasco, of course. Shout out to Lupe. Who else? Sylvan the Q, obviously.
Mhm.
And like just dudes like that really kind of influenced my artistry because I love the flows that they use and I love the songs that they make.
Yeah.
But then it's like they still make amazing music.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of like a point where like I would listen to some of their songs and like whatever vibe I'm in, they would just kind of control that through a song that they dropped like a decade ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you feel me? That's the kind of point that I'm trying
It's
to
like
get
timelessness.
to. Yeah, like
Like
that's
you can listen to something 10 years later and it might even have more meaning than when it first came out.
yeah, because you'll pick up on some bars that you didn't pick up before,
Yeah.
and you'll just be like, damn, like I've been listening to this song forever and I ain't even recognize that.
I love that shit. When there's like true
Yeah.
lyricism where you listen to it, you've listened to a song 25 times and like the 25th time you're like, oh, I didn't even get that reference, or I took
Yeah.
this line this way, but now I see it a different way, and it's
Yeah.
like that's the crazy shit. Is like you can listen to something so many times and not pick up on certain things.
Oh
It's
yeah, no,
you know?
absolutely, and that's the dope part about that's the dopest part about being like a lyricist for that matter, because it's like
Mhm.
you can drop little tidbits of things, and you know that sometimes like you have certain bars that you won't get instant like oh damn like
Yeah.
reaction from, but you know if they keep listening to that, one day they're gonna be like, yo, I caught that, and I wasn't even like, you feel me?
Yeah, for
Like-
sure. And I always enjoy it. Like, now that I'm on like not the other side of it, but like seeing the behind the scenes of like how certain artists work, and it's like, and seeing them actually record and write lines, and it's like, it's interesting because the original meaning behind it that like an average person that hears
Yeah.
it won't necessarily pick up on that, but it's almost like for a select group of people, it has like it's even larger meaning,
Oh,
so.
of course.
And so, growing up in Boston, were you always surrounded by music, or like how'd you originally get into like making music?
Nah, I wasn't actually. My parents weren't really into like hip hop,
Okay.
which is really funny. I really was. This is gonna sound really wild, but like I was OD like into like because of my mother, I was really into country music way back.
All right.
Like when I was like young. You feel me? Like it was
Yeah, for
it
sure.
was crazy. Like because every car ride, every time we turn on any kind of radio, it was either old school or like 80s,
Mhm.
90s R&B or country music, and it was just mad weird. And like it was like I got into music like from that kind of thing because I was like, like this is really like I like music. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Like at the time, but the feelings that they give me are way like they're just different.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a moment that like the moment that kind of made me realize that maybe music is something I want to do. This is just gonna sound really odd, but I was on like
Go for it.
you feel me? I was like 13
Mm-hmm.
on like driving to this basketball tournament like way out, and this was in California, so I was
Okay.
like I was low key youngin', you feel me? But
Yeah.
I was like, I was just on the way to a basketball tournament, and my coach gave me his iPod. He's like, yo, you want to just listen to something? I was like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
So I put it on shuffle, and the first song that came up was "Hip Hop Saved My Life" by Lupe Fiasco
Oh,
off
there
the
you
Cool, and I was bumping that. I was like, oh my god. I was like, this is different. Like I was
Yeah.
like I heard that and I was like, that's forever my favorite song of all time because
For
like
sure.
that moment was like it was the perfect song at the perfect time in my life to hear.
Yeah.
Because like there was my own stuff that I was going through as a kid, but at the same time it was like musically I was still kind of like like I wasn't sure where I wanted to go.
For sure.
And then I heard the song and I was like, wild.
Yeah. I was
like,
like,
I-
this is it.
You feel me? Like I was like, nah, this right here is what I want. Like that feeling that like when I first heard
Mhm.
it, like this, like how it hit me, I was like, that's what I
Yeah.
want to put. That's what I want to evoke in other people, and that's
Yeah.
kind of what really kind of pushed me to do it. And like that's why I've kept this same air of musical integrity
Mm-hmm.
in all of my songs and stuff.
For sure.
And that's
for sure.
that's definitely what I want to do.
I think all of us have, like, all of us that are really in hip hop and love hip hop, have those. If not those moments, you just like remember those artists that like first got you into hip hop. You
No,
know?
absolutely. Like from Lupe, and then a few years after that, it started becoming like, or not even a few years after that. Like I recognized, like I used to listen to, my mom's used to love Outkast, so like all I would hear was from Aquemini or from like once it came out, the Speaker Box and the Love Below.
Yeah.
It was just like I would always hear it around the house. But damn, this is really like, this is dope. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I heard like Lupe. I was like, damn, so you can do shit like that and be like this?
Yeah, you can do shit like this. You can do shit like that. Yeah. And it's like it's all hip hop, but it's like so different. You know,
it's a beautiful genre. And granted, you got some people kind of being representative of different parts of it, but it's all still parts of the whole.
Yeah.
So it's like whatever you want to do with it, so be it. But as long as you're doing it because it's for the betterment of either yourself or for the culture.
Yeah,
you do
for
what you
sure.
gotta do.
Is there like distinct moment you remember like a catalyst for like this is what I'm gonna be doing? This is
like when I just decided like, you know what, this is like I want to rap and like really take it seriously.
Yeah, is there like a distinct moment that stands out?
The Sylvan the Q thing.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, like we were at this coffee shop and like it was mad random because like I was just because at the time I transferred from St. John's University. Shout out everybody at St. John's. Shout out Wyatt Woodbury. That's my nigga. But yeah, we were out there.
Yeah.
And like he just said something on Twitter, and he was like, yeah, if anybody wants to meet me, just like hit me up, and I'll see if we can do it. And I was like, bet. I just kind of like I was like, yo, I'm already in New York. I can kind of just take a train and see what's popping.
And that was the first time you met him?
Yeah. And he was like, oh, bet. I was like, oh shit, okay. And this was like 2:30 in the afternoon, so I take a train. I got like the flyers fit on. I got like two of my homies with me. I'm like, all right, bet. So we pull up.
Like, come correct.
Yeah, like I had to come correct. I had my best bars with me. You feel me? I had everything.
Yeah,
I was, trust me. But I pull up and we're at this coffee shop and it's like 2:30 in the afternoon, right? And we're talking for, I kid you not, I want to say a smooth 6 to 7 hours.
Damn.
Just standing up in this coffee shop, just talking about from music to just life shit and things like that. And like the inspiration for at the time his album which was called Far From Familiar. And he played me some of the songs off of that. And I was like, this is crazy. And I was like, yeah, like I kind of like, I've been thinking about making music and being serious with it. And I was wondering if I could get some of your opinion on some of my lyrics. Yeah. And so I showed him lyrics to this song. And it was called The Third Commandment, but it never came out. It was just like a random song that I dropped that I had at the time. And I showed it to him. And he was like he's like, and you're not taking it seriously? And I was like, yeah.
Yeah, this is just me.
You feel me?
Yeah.
And he was like, bro, like, your lyricism is like, it's up there. And I was like, for real? Like, and like, mind you, like, I just meeting him. I'm like, yeah. And like his photographer, he's like, he gives it to his photographer. He's like, here, read this for me. And he's like, bro, that's crazy. And I was like, yeah, it's like wild.
Imagine like that was just you like messing around, but imagine if you like went hard and took it seriously. You know?
Feel me? And that's what I was like. He was like, yeah, nah, 100%. If you really decide to take this seriously and really want to invest your time into this, I genuinely believe that you can do this and you can genuinely like turn this into some kind of a career for yourself. And that's wild. You feel me? And that really like kind of resonated with me. Like I went back, wrote like 5 songs in a night, and they were all just like top tier lyrical kind of tracks. And it was just like I was like I can't thank him enough for that. And like to this day, I still hit him up with like different songs and stuff, and like asking for critiques and this, that, and the third. But like that was definitely the moment I was like, not only do I want to do this, but now I have the kind of like that gratification that someone else who's already done it tells me that I can too. Yeah, you feel me? And that was really needed at that time.
Definitely, because it's always so easy to get in your own head, and like especially like there might be. It's funny because there might be like 100 people that say, "Oh, you're whack," blah blah blah. But if the right person said, like one, like it's more important that one person that like in your mind has credibility or in your mind like you have respect for says, like you can do this. Then it's like who cares what these other 50 people said,
Exactly, and that's the dope part about it. It's like I could have 100,000 random ass people tell me, "Yo, Dez, your shit is trash, man." Be like, thanks. Like,
yeah, and probably some hype beat shit.
Yeah, just people.
Just some lames,
you know? Me rocking some Supreme shit. I'm like, all right, bet, whatever. Live your life. Yeah. But if Mick Jenkins comes up to me and tells me, yo, you're nice, that negates everything y'all just said.
Yeah, it's just like
this man better than y'all.
Just reaffirms you're on the right path.
Absolutely. I'm like, you know what? I can still keep this going. And now I got like a good circle of people around me who really believe in the things that I can do. and the artistry that I'm trying to push forward. And that's just making it a lot easier and like kind of taking the weight off my shoulders. So shout out to everybody out like that. So
and I love that story because, you know, I think in today's music industry, it's looked at very cutthroat, very like, you know, people trying to take advantage of you. But the people that are in it and really love it, the fact that he was just like, yo, come meet me, you know, and like you can connect with anyone nowadays around the world through social media. And like there are people that like him, and I just think of like seeing everyone doing interviews and talking about how much ASAP Yams like just like was down to help them out and just like put people on. And it's like I'd love to get to that level where I'm able to help people out and like, you know, just for the love of the culture, like actual for the culture, not like this people throw out do for the culture, but like, you know, really
the pseudo culture type shit. Yeah, nah, that's a very, very big portion of why I really want to kind of take this seriously, because I'm somebody who really like, if I'm in a position to succeed, I'm gonna do everything in my power to make sure that anybody who's genuine about this and anybody who really wants to do something, I'm gonna give you every tool that I have at my arsenal or at my disposal to make sure that you too can succeed just like I can, if not better.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to really do with hip hop, because like I'm just like I've been putting out more music than I've put out like this entire year. Like I started out putting out 2 songs. I had like 2 or 3 songs out come like July, and I started making music in like February.
Yeah.
And come August, September, October, I had 2 EPs and like a bunch of random singles out. So now I got like a smooth, I want to say like 18 or 19 songs out now. And I just started kind of be like, you know, let me just put a lot more music out.
Yeah.
Just because who knows, maybe somebody will hear it like that and be like, huh, okay, give me that chance, give me that platform. And then I can bring up all the dudes like I've been listening to, like my local homies that I've been listening to. Like shout out to like Trey Michaels, that we have a song we're working on right now. Shout out to Meet V Outside. Shout out to Enlighten.
I actually know both of them.
Yeah, like
I met them at the showcase in Boston. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm so tight. I was supposed to go to that. I was sick. I was dumb tight. Like I was.
We'll make another one happen. We got some. I'm trying to start doing shows in Greenfield, shows in Boston, shows in Amherst. Like we're gonna get shit popping.
Hopefully, I've been waiting to kind of perform like some of the newer stuff that I've been working on. Oh man, like I'm dumb excited for it. But,
for sure.
Yeah, like shout out to dudes like that. Shout out to Enlighten. Shout out to E-Rat. Shout out to DK. Like dudes like just like my local homies that I'm listening to, like Lost Soul Child, just different producers, different like artists, Rohan or RCM, just random dudes like I'm listening to like on a consistent basis that really inspire my own music. So if I get the chance to kind of get a bigger platform than even they do, I'm a like the next EP that I get, let's say I get signed to Def Jam, I get a whole mixtape. Yeah. Shit, everybody getting a feature. You feel me? Like
yeah, for sure.
I'm helping.
It's like everyone's trying to get their own platform to help everyone else out.
Of course. Like I'm not the kind of person who's gonna be like, you know what? I'm up. I love y'all, but peace. I can't fuck with y'all no more. No, never that. I'm here to make music and help other people through my music. Yeah. But I can also help people with my music and the position that this music brings me.
I fuck with that because my mindset is always like I don't care how big, how small you are. If your music's dope, your music's dope. And, and I'm gonna like support and like show love to you if I think your music's dope and I think more people need to hear it. And it's like, I don't know, some of the most meaningful interviews to me, or like some of the like the interviews that I think have been the best have been with some of the smaller artists that I've been able to interview, not like the larger artists I've been able to interview. So
I mean, like I said, if you're more connected with a person's music, you can more so, like I said before, there's something about music, like the way that you purvey yourself as an artist is the way that you're representing yourself as a man or as an individual. So with smaller artists, you're going to get one of two things: someone who's trying to ride the wave, or someone who's really just trying to do it for the culture. Yeah. And those who are trying to do it for the latter are more so going to be able to kind of give you a more honest, a more earnest kind of interview. Yeah. You feel me? And it's dope like that, because I've been lucky enough to kind of come across people who primarily are just here for like, just do it for the music. And every conversation that we have is always nothing but positivity and uplifting type shit. You feel me?
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm really just excited for like what the future holds, just because music is dope as hell for me. So
definitely. Yeah. And I also wanted to ask you, like I said, you've dropped like 2 EPs, I think, in the last 2 months or so, like just like getting out music. And is there a reason that you're trying to drop more like EPs than albums and just like get it out there? And
I originally I was planning on doing so my plan for this I had an EP series that I was gonna drop. and it was going to be based around the 7 deadly sins, and it was just going to be 7 to 8 tracks.
Yeah, because the
on
first
each of
one's
them.
named Wrath, right?
Yeah, wrath. So then the next one would be lust, pride, sloth, gluttony, so on and so forth. But after a few kind of things happened, and like I dropped perfect timing because it's like a surprise thing on my birthday,
For sure.
and a few things happened, and I was like, you know what? Nah, the things that I want to rap about right now aren't something that I can put on an EP.
For sure.
So ironically enough, the next project that I put out isn't going to be an EP. It's going to be like a full length. It's a meaty project. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, but it's definitely gonna be worth the listen.
Yeah, and Wrath and Perfect Timing, which I thought was interesting, is like you put out so much music in a short amount of time, but yet a lot of times when people put out music, so quickly, it's like, or put out a lot of music, the quality dips, but like the quality's all there.
That means a lot for that, just to hear that first and foremost, because every time I put out music, I am like any other artist, I am my own worst critic. I think everything that I do could be done to a much better degree, but with things like Perfect Timing or with Wrath especially, I put a lot of time and like a lot more time and effort than I would have thought into the lyrics.
Yeah.
And like for the first song is like a 7.5 minute track. That's just like honest, genuine, just like angry emotions. And the outro is just the same. It's like a 3-minute just song called Wrath, just me getting real tight. But everything in between is like different forms of anger, and like that thought and that kind of emotion evoking is what really kind of made that project special to me. That's why I was like, I can really kind of drop like EP series like this, because emotional like kind of lyrics and emotions within music is something that I like to think that I'm very good at purveying and really good at articulating. So when I put out projects like Wrath, or when I put out something like a Lust or a Pride, it's easy because it's just delving into emotions that I'm already very much so in tune with.
Yeah.
But this next project is, I'm so excited to put music out from it, man. Like it's everything from all of those separate EP series plus some more. Like it's very difficult to explain without giving a lot of it away.
For sure.
But I can assure you it's something.
Do you got a title, concept?
The title for it is called "And Then the World Stopped Turning," and it's more so like a self-written piece where it's like it's based around the concept of someone giving their world to somebody for the sake of making sure that that the other person has the best in mind and they have their best life ready to live. But if someone doesn't really reciprocate that, or if people don't really understand that and don't really fully accept that, what is left of you to do? So the project itself is called "And Then the World Stopped Turning" because I'm not doing that anymore. Like I'm going to be able to give you my everything if need be, and I'm going to be able to give you my full as an artist, as a man, as a friend, as whatever it may be, because I'm going to reach out to you. I'm not going to do it just because I'm a nice dude. I'm not going to do it just because it's something that I want to do just because it's like Thursday or whatever, like a random whatever. And I'm stopping that that hypothetical world that I gave you. Yeah. I'm stopping that I'll just let that die. And that's what this entire project is going to be. It's just going to be a whole lot of not really I hate, but I'm done with y'all. And a lot of braggadocio and a lot of just
a little bit of a switch up,
a little bit, and it's different instrumentally. It's different the lyricism is always going to be there. Yeah. But the subject matter is a lot more like there's going to be a lot more like deep songs and a lot more content to digest.
For sure.
But it's most definitely going to worth it. It's going to be worth it. I have a lot more. I'm working with some features on it too, so it's gonna be something serious.
That's dope, and I like that concept because it's like, I don't know, you have to help yourself before you can help other people, and it's like if you're not, you need to be secure in yourself, and you can't sacrifice yourself for other people. It's like,
oh, of course,
you have to lift yourself up so you can lift others up.
Of course, and that's through this project. It's kind of like my form of closure for a few events in my life, and it's like I'm really kind of like through my music, I've realized that I can really give myself personal like enjoyment and fulfillment and relaxation in that regard, because it's different. Like now the way that people kind of perceive me as a person is like, oh, Dez just a really, really nice dude who really can't do anything and everything for his homeboys, right? But now it's like, you know what? I'm really just gonna I'm gonna be selfish a little bit.
For sure.
You feel me? Because everybody deserves a little bit of time to be. I haven't been selfish at any time in my life, so I think now is the time that I'm gonna kind of invest in that a little bit.
Well, like I said, it's like if you like keep your head down and you're selfish and you're working, grinding, whatever, then there's always time later. Once you're you get to a certain platform, then you can be more selfless, you know?
Oh no, of course. And I'm
You know?
like I said, I'm not gonna be like LeBron James driving down the lane, tunnel vision type
Yeah,
shit. I'm of course like if anybody needs me, always gonna be here for everybody. Anybody who ever needs me, I'm always gonna be that person. But excuse me,
yeah.
if I'm ever needed to like kind of reach out, I'm gonna be a little bit more hesitant about that because if I deem it not to be worth the time that I'm gonna be putting into it, I can't waste my time like that anymore.
Yeah,
like
yeah, for sure.
I have a lot more things that I need to focus on, not only as a man, but as an artist, as an academic. I have all of these things I got to focus on. I can't really be wasting my time with people who don't appreciate the time that I'm giving them. You
For
feel
sure,
me?
yeah, definitely.
And that's kind of a play off of the perfect timing thing because it's like it's perfect timing because now the world's going to stop turning. So it's
Yeah.
like,
And it also plays into the, like, I don't know, it's like you need to help yourself before, in the sense of, like, you can only help people so much if they're not going
Of
to
course.
help themselves. So it's like I'm going to do everything to help my homies out, but if they're
course.
they're not willing to do the same for themselves, then it's like
yeah.
you can't put that weight on yourself, you know?
And that's just both off of that. My pops used to tell me this old thing. I speak in analogies. I'm like, I'm an old ass
I
man.
like
I'm
it.
not
I
gonna
like
lie to you.
it.
My pops used to tell
You
me
got
this
that
thing where-
wisdom.
You feel you feel me?
Old soul.
An old head if I've ever seen one. But like, nah, he used to tell me this thing where it's like, you can lead a horse to water, you can't make it drink. And that rings it very much so true for anybody in life, where it's like you can tell somebody everything in the world, but if they don't want to listen, if they don't want to apply those things to their life, then there's not much I can do. And another big part as to why I wanted to name this something just based off of like a planet or something like that was because way back in the day when I was like 14, like my rap name was Atlas.
Yeah.
And that's what I was like, just like the Greek god Atlas, where he was the one who held up the earth and held up everybody's transgressions and desires and like just like greed and just general ill will, held up everything about people, about the planet itself.
For sure.
But even he got tired at times.
Definitely.
So I'm like, if even a divine being gets tired of holding up on some people, I think I'm allowed a little bit of leeway. You feel me? Like,
Yeah.
and that it took a little while to kind of realize and accept that. But now it's put me in a headspace that's a lot better as a man and a lot better as an artist, to the point where I can put out music like the ones that I'm about to get to, that really is just it's different, but it's better. I think it's better than the music that I put out prior.
For sure.
So I'm definitely
Awesome.
excited for that.
I'm looking forward to it as well. We might have to, send me a clean version of that for the radio. You already
Oh,
know I'm
100%.
gonna be spinning that.
Oh, no, 100%. Also, it's a very just a random fact. I very rarely swear in any of my songs. Like I think I've cursed twice in 2 songs. Everything else,
Is that intentional or?
It's like I want to say like 75% intentional, 25% like, cause like one, my mom listens to my music,
Yeah.
so I'm like, I don't want to hear like just me like nigga, you feel me? Like I'm not really,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be OD aggressive,
For
but at
sure.
the same time, it's a nice challenge. You feel me? Like
Yeah.
kind of finding different ways to articulate
Definitely.
without cursing and without
Definitely.
really getting tight.
Because
Like,
a lot of times people can use cursing as like sometimes it helps the art, but sometimes elevates the art, but sometimes it's also like a crutch.
yeah,
Because there's a lot of emotion in cursing, and like if you're trying to convey something, it can be very useful. But it's like, I don't know, people use it as crutch, and like I'm always more in awe of artists that are able to do some really dope shit, and then you realize like, hey, they really aren't that cursing that much. Because that's
Yeah.
like a stereotype of hip hop. Is like, oh, it's like brash, all this shit,
yeah. Like there's one song off of this the next project, and then The World Stopped Turning, that's gonna be primarily like, it's gonna be more so around like off of Perfect Timing. I have a song that my friend Nehemiah is obsessed with called I Don't Give a Fuck, and it's really like that, just kind of overly cursing kind of thing where I'm just really tight. And there's one song on the next EP that is, I think it's like a good blend of that, where just the chorus is really just overly like not like vulgar, but like just in terms of like vernacular used, it's very heavy in that regard. But at the same time, the lyrics are crazy and the beat is unbelievable. It's called Supreme, and it's like a song that's really just not only like blowing myself up, but give myself that recognition, but at the same time, it's just kind of aggrandizing and like talking about the aggrandization of things, like, or the aggrandizement, for lack of a better term, that's really just kind of based around hip hop and being like this kind of an artist, and being representative of this sound. And just like, I don't really care about all that, because now I think I'm better than all of that.
Yeah.
And I'm just here to kind of do my own thing. And if you want to rock with me, then so be it. If not, then you can.
Yeah,
the
people
door's
always
right
want to
there.
categorize things like this is mumble rap, this is old school rap,
Yeah.
this is, you know, it doesn't have to,
Nah,
you don't have to fit into a box.
it took, honestly, I'm not going to lie to you, I was one of them.
Yeah, yeah.
And it took me a little while to kind of get to a point where I was like, you know what, I really just don't care anymore. And
Yeah.
I'm like, if they making money, you can do whatever the hell you want. Just as long as you're not impeding on my craft and my rapping and my stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Do
Well,
what you
yeah.
gotta do.
Well, even or even just defining your own music. It's like you can just like it's either dope or it isn't. You know, like that's the way I look at
That's
it.
facts. And like, if I don't think it's dope, like there's songs from lyricists that I don't think are dope, and there's
Yeah.
songs from trap rappers and mumble rappers that I don't think are dope.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
But there are songs from dudes like shout out Lil Pump that I am
Yeah.
OD for. I love to the death.
Yeah.
And there are songs from Kendrick that I love to the death. Like,
Definitely.
You feel me? If you just like some music and if you like a sound, you can like it. There's nothing wrong with it.
Definitely.
I may have my own opinions and transgressions to why I don't like it,
Mm-hmm.
but my opinion doesn't have to impede on what you like. 'Cause
Yeah,
I'm not
definitely.
trying to force my shit on you.
And there's some people like I don't know. There's in the like mumble rap crowd. It's not my like general go to type of music, but there's people like Ski Mask Slum Squad where he's like he can flow like crazy. Like he like he has faster flows than some like I said lyricists. And there's some lyricists that are like they're hitting you with all these metaphors and similes and all that stuff, but it's like nothing. There's no like sense of like personality that makes them stand out. You know, like some of the best lyricism I think is the most blunt. It's not about like let me hit you with some crazy
Exactly.
wordplay. It's like something really like simplistic or like simplified and blunt that like I don't know gives you emotion and like in I think there's beauty in simplicity and like being able to like say something that's not there's nothing to misinterpret there, but it still makes you think.
Nah, yeah,
you know?
absolutely. And that's why people like Jay-Z,
Mm-hmm.
people say he's one of the best lyricists of all time. Because it was never really about Jay-Z as like an artist. It's like, oh, he has the craziest triple entendres. Nah.
Yeah.
Like, you know what you're getting into with Jay-Z. But at
Mhm.
the same time, you know you're going to get some dope bars that are just
Yeah.
like simple, but they still pack a hell of a punch.
Yeah.
And like, you don't have to go into a super crazy, like that that crazy
Yeah,
flow.
yeah.
Nah, you can just
Biggie was like that too. Biggie was
Yeah.
just like I don't
Biggie-
know. There's just like some lines that are just like so simple, but they stand out. So like
exactly
just resonate with you and stick with you.
And a big part of lyricism is flow, because if you can have the best bars on the planet, but if you don't know how to deliver, you can have the best food on the planet, but if you don't know how to present it, nobody gonna eat it. Nobody gonna want
Yeah,
that.
for
So,
sure.
you feel me? But it's like you have dudes like that's why I say like Jay-Z or dudes like for like a Kendrick Lamar, J.
Mhm.
Cole, like that have really amazing lyrics, but they also have ridiculous flow and great presentation, not only as musicians but just as people. Like you don't really hear. Aside from Jay-Z, Jay-Z's different because Jay-Z's money kind of protects him from ever being disrespected like that.
Yeah,
ever.
he's a mogul now. He's
Yeah.
I don't all right, like 444 was a great all right, that was a surprise considering Magna Carta was like
Oh, most definitely.
because it's like I don't know when you get to that age it's like yeah Jay-Z we know you have money we know you're married to Beyonce we know you're lamped up like I don't need to hear that from Jay but like 444 was like back to that like the emotional real shit and you're like at this point I'm happy with Jay-Z just doing his mogul shit but like
Oh,
that
no,
was a
yeah.
great album to drop that like really added to his legacy at this age to put that out
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I think that's a very good point that needs to be addressed in the sense of like Jay-Z is and always will be a phenomenal rapper.
Mm-hmm.
But now I think you can kind of focus on other things. my
Yeah.
guy. Like you got other like we got J. Cole, we got Kendrick, we got Joey Bad, we got Mick Jenkins, we got I like Ab-Soul, you got J Rock.
Yeah.
You got all these other lyricists. You got Dave East. You got a lot of different lyricists and different great rappers.
Yeah.
I think it's coming to the point where we need to start moving into the next generation of that. And I think J. Cole and Kendrick kind of are filling that throne, that seat.
It's just all about balance.
Yeah.
It's like the fact that Kendrick and J. Cole are some of the biggest lyricists of like the biggest rappers in the world and like some of the most lyrical artists. It says a lot. And
Oh, yeah.
I was listening to Peter Rosenberg and he was talking about how like people were flaming him for saying that Kendrick's the greatest of all time or like the best rapper. And he's like, it's like, if you think about it, like if you had a bunch of guys from the 90s, like old rappers, and they were like the quintessential rap for today, they'd be like, there's someone that's talking about real shit that's super lyrical, but it's also like topping the charts, and it's like that's what Kendrick is, you know. And
That's valid. That's very valid. I'm biased in that conversation because I think Andre 3000 is the best rapper to ever live, no
sure.
questions asked. And I also think Lupe Fiasco is like top 3 very easily. But Kendrick is someone who can do it all. Like Kendrick is like the LeBron James. Like I think like dudes like Pac, Biggie, Hove, Nas, and them are like Michael Jordans in their own right.
Yeah.
But I think Kendrick is that LeBron that can play the 1 through 5, can coach your team, can put up 40 when you need it and get you to win in crunch time. Like he can give you everything that you want and then some.
Well, just the fact that he dropped, you know, what would be Throwaways.
Oh yeah,
and as a whole album, and it's better than a lot of people's albums that are just like they're not throwaways, but like leftovers, you know. And like he's like, I'm gonna put this out just because it's still dope, you know. My
man's Thanksgiving leftovers are better than your entire feast. It's unbelievable. Like it's crazy. But
I love the metaphors here.
You know, he's a phenomenal rapper and a phenomenal lyricist, but at the same time, he's a great song maker. But I also think like there's just like between Kendrick and Cole, where Kendrick is getting to as a song maker, I think Cole's been at for a while.
See, for me, so the Kendrick Cole debate, for me, it's like they do the same, like not do the same thing, but they fill the same void. And it's like, for me, Kendrick's here and like Cole's here. So it's like, my thought process is like, why listen to Cole when I could listen to Kendrick? That's
valid.
And like the whole like criticism of like him being boring, like I don't think he's boring, but like I just think Kendrick's like that next step up of like what J. Cole does, and it's like I would always listen to Kendrick over J. Cole, you know.
And I can see that just because like not only just like the music that Kendrick and J. Cole make, it's two very different like emotions and two very different vibes. I just think like the way that I perceive it is that Kendrick and J. Cole, so let's say Kendrick andJ. Cole like as artists are like here, and Kendrick as a rapper is here, and J. Cole as a rapper is here. Yeah. But J. Cole as a song maker is here, and Kendrick as a song maker is right there. Yeah. So I think Kendrick is a better artist, but like it's not that far. Yeah. Like people are like, oh, it's no contest, no questions asked. I'm like, if you put Kendrick and J. Cole on a track and ask them to go bar for bar, it's going to be a damn good battle. I think so.
Well, they were supposed to do that, like back in the day, we were supposed to do that joint album, and then they teased that with that Black Friday. They flipped each other's songs. So I was like,
that was crazy.
I feel like there's something in the chamber that they're just going to like put out years later, like when no one's expecting it, you know?
Like, I'm still waiting for that. I'm still waiting for the Donald Glover and Chance the Rapper double EP. I'm still waiting on that. Like, those two projects are definitely something. Also, Childish Gambino, he slept on way too heavy. Way too, as a rapper. Oh, yeah,
for sure.
Way too heavy.
Well, just the fact that, like, just, like, not only just a rapper, but, like, he just literally came out and he just dropped an album that had, like, it's, like, soul, funk, like, all this. And it's, like, it was amazing. You know what I'm saying? It's, like, not only as a rapper, but as a singer, a producer, a writer, a comedian, like...
He can literally do everything.
Yeah, like it's an weird. Actor, like
within the rap industry, Kendrick is the LeBron. Yeah. But I think in entertainment, period, that's Donald Glover point blank period, because that man can literally
and Atlanta like it's like
dropped a TV show, like, a whole TV show, and it's fire. And it's just like it's just like, you know, I'm making a TV show. Oh, I'm doing a comedy special. Now let me drop an album.
No big deal.
You feel me? Like, no, it's cool. I'm bored. What am I gonna do? Should I make a movie? Like, let me be in Star Wars. I'm bored. Like, you know, like it's unbelievable.
It's just some crazy shit, and like even looking back, I remember like I used to like I still fuck with him, but like I was a huge Tyler the Creator fan, and he's like, you know what, like the music I've been making weird, and like he literally like tweeted out like I'm trying to win a Grammy, nominated for a Grammy this year, which is like it's unreal, you know, to be able to be like, you know, like I'm trying to make this some like next wave shit, and like actually like a couple years later be like on that level, you know?
And I think it was like something kind of sparked in me as I was looking at those like the Grammy nominations. I was like, I really, really want one of these. And that's like, I've never been really a man of like awards. Like I kind of just like doing things for the sake of doing them. Like I really like making music because one, I like making music, and like I have my own personal things. Like I want to help people and things like that.
For sure.
But I was looking at like the list of people who were like getting nominated, and I was like,
this is great company.
Yeah, like this is nice. Well, this is nice to be in.
Well, normally Grammys, like I don't know, most of the award shows are kind of this like political, and it's like the ones that, you know, I think are the best albums normally don't win. But it's like this year, like I don't have much beef with the nominations. The only thing was the I know a lot of people on social media were talking about how Tribe didn't get nominated, which I feel that, but like otherwise, like you have Rhapsody on
That's
there.
what
Like
I'm-
how is like the fact that Rhapsody is on there is crazy to me, you know?
That album is
Let
phenomenal.
me just like maybe I'll just pull them up. Let me look at these. Maybe a little tangent. I mean, you know.
Nah, yeah.
Yeah.
That Rhapsody album definitely is one of the best albums of this year. Like point blank. Period.
I haven't listened to the whole album. See, the problem with, like because I'm always trying to get you know, make new like edit new music for my show. I'm like always just listening to songs here and there, and I really get to sit down and digest like a full album. Let's see. So for best rap album, the nominations are Kendrick, Rhapsody, Tyler, Migos, and Jay-Z. Like that's like such.
I think, but that's the thing. Like I can see why Tribe got tight or why people are tight because I don't. Migos' culture should not be up there. I don't think so. Like in that company, you're telling me story of OJ versus T-shirt.
Yeah, I just think
Like-
that well, because it's based on like a lot of it's based on like I said commercial sales. So
Yeah.
it's like you can't
Yeah.
like the numbers that Migos did. You probably can't like
You can't dispute it.
yeah you can't dispute it. And it's like I don't know, Tribe's timeless, but it's like
It doesn't sell like that.
I'm surprised that Rhapsody would get a nomination over Tribe. Let's say that.
That's
the
the thing. I think because with an
'Cause
album
she's
like
not
that,
as she's not
Oh,
commercial
no.
at all.
Nah.
You know.
And her I think maybe actually, well, now that I think about it, didn't her record label, which is Ninth Wonder's Jamlo Records, didn't they just get signed? Not like signed, but they just got like bought out essentially by Rock Nation.
That's a high possibility. I haven't heard that,
Because
but
I'm relatively sure. I'm not like 100%, but I'm like I want to say 85, 90% sure. But I think if that's the case, that might have helped bump the sales up a little bit.
yeah.
But either way, I think just that album being there in the first place is
Crazy.
phenomenal.
Well, like I know of all the female MCs, to have her, you know, what I'm
The
saying
most
she's like a
slept on.
traditional lyrical female MC, which is like in the like classifications of the Lauryn Hills, you know.
And like she's really like she's one of the very few like women MCs that can do you dirty on a track, like where it's a Young M.A. Like she can really do you dirty on a song and you have nothing to say about it because she can out rap you 10 times out of 9.
Yeah.
So and just to her credit for that, plus she's now out here nominated for a whole ass Grammys.
Well, yeah. Looking at the Grammy nominations, there's record of the year. There's 3 hip hop songs: Redbone, Story of OJ, and Humble.
Let me get Redbone, please.
And I'd be happy with any of those, but
feel
yeah,
me?
Redbone would be fire. Album of the year, there's Childish, Jay-Z, Kendrick. So 3 of the top 3 of the album of the year nominations. I don't know what else. Anyway, enough with this tangent. But yeah,
Now they're getting the respect they deserve. Hip hop's getting the respect it deserves.
for sure, no doubt, and I love to see that. You know,
No, absolutely.
people like to like I said, hip hop is the largest genre in the world, and like a bunch of old people are like, hip hop, blah blah. It's like after a certain while, you have to realize like rock's dead. Like hip hop. My favorite thing was like hip hop is kind of in it. It's like I've seen Needle Drop doing a video about like hip hop being in its punk phase, where like punk started because a bunch of people didn't want to follow the rules and like we're just gonna get up there and play, and like that's what like all
That's
these
valid.
little yachties and all these people are doing. They're like, fuck the rules, we're doing our own thing, and we're gonna make it dope, and if you don't like it, fuck it. Like that, like we're in the punk phase of rap, you know.
Oh, nah, and that's I agree with that entirely. Where you just have a lot of there's just so many different sounds creatively. Like I don't think you would have gotten an Awaken My Love 2010.
No,
like,
no.
you wouldn't have even remotely heard that.
Yeah.
But now it's just like you have, and it's like not only that, but you have that in such company. Like Awaken My Love, then you have all of a sudden 444.
Yeah.
Or you have Layla's Wisdom, or you have just Kyrie Chanel. Like you just have so many different like songs and so many different types of music coming out, all within one genre, is unbelievable.
Well, people, and that's the thing. People want to like look at the mumble rappers and all these people like Lil Pump and say like, "Oh, what is hip hop coming to?" But it's like, just like how experimental hip hop has gotten and all the stuff that's come out. If you look at it in the grander scheme, it's like I can't see how you could say that. Like, yeah, if you look at this section of hip hop, you can be like, oh, like, what's going on? But like, there's such a diverse array of artists and sounds that are coming out that it's like,
Oh yeah,
you know,
nah, and like dudes like Lil Pump, shout out to Harvard graduate.
I,
Like,
I fuck with Lil Pump. I can fuck with a couple of Lil Pump songs. I'm not gonna lie.
Nah, absolutely not. Like it's just like dudes like Lil Pump know what they're doing,
No, yeah, of course.
and like that's why I can respect Lil Pump because Lil Pump he knows what he's doing. Like,
He's also a 16-year-old kid. Like,
you feel me?
okay, like our generations. Oh, not our generations, because like he's still, we're still young. But like, I remember like Soldier Boy. Like he's like this generation's Soldier Boy, but like Soldier Boy is more problematic and all over the place. But you know what I'm saying? Like, he's just like a 16-year-old kid that blows up, and he's just like, yeah, he's a little reckless, he's a little ignorant, but like, it's a good time.
Yeah, like it's not like, and the best part about it,
I don't think
like,
it's destructive.
No, and like I feel like that's the key, that's the integral part of it. It's like you have people listening to hip hop, right? And you have people like loving these dudes like Lil Pump or like these Lil Uzis or whatever. But the artists themselves never really tell you that like, oh, I'm like this kind of a rapper. They just kind of rap or like do what they want and then just kind of call it a day.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. But like the issue with some people when like you have the Post Malones or the Lil Yachty's talking about or like Biggie wasn't that nice. Or like Kodak being like, I'm the best rapper alive. And there's like,
and part of that's like a troll, but like I can see why people are like,
yeah, like because
angry
even
about that.
if it's like a troll, it's like, bro, like you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
I'm I'm not disrespecting y'all. All right?
Of course, yeah.
I'm just saying like there's certain boundaries that need to be understood and respected. And some people like Lil Pump or like Lil Uzi. Lil Uzi's like, I'm a rock star. I have no problem with it. You do what you want to do. Live your life. Be your best self. But when you have dudes like who you know damn well are not like, it's like those, like, remember that back in the day there was like the dude Ice JJ Fish. Like you just got a bunch of him and you're just like, yeah, like you know what you're doing. And I'm just like, just don't kind of hurt the culture for the sake of your own like you just trying to get clout. Like it's
yeah,
like,
for sure.
Like come on now.
Yeah, I feel that. I'm curious. Like we didn't really touch on this. I'm curious. Like who are some of your? We talked about Lupe a little bit, but like who are some of your like main influences and inspirations?
Primary influences and inspirations. I want to say a really really big inspiration is Logic, and like 100%. Like I there's not a day that goes by that I've been following Logic since he was like Psychological when he dropped Logic the mixtape way back in the day.
Yeah, I love the Sinatra mixtapes.
Yeah, Young Sinatra.
That's my shit.
Oh, absolutely. But Logic most definitely. Mick Jenkins most definitely. And as of late, there's been a few people like who've started coming out the cut that have really started influencing my music a lot more than I would anticipate. Like Gold Link, who someone my roommate listens to a disgusting amount, is starting to influence my sonics a little bit more. Yeah, just a lot of different sounds, but I want to say, I don't know, like Childish Gambino 100%, just as an artist, like as like what I want to represent. Childish, like of all time, people who I respect and admire like to the day I die. Sylvan, like no particular order, Sylvan the Q, Andre 3000, Childish Gambino, and probably Jay-Z, just because Jay-Z is obviously Jay-Z.
For sure.
But yeah, just dudes like that kind of really, but I primarily say Logic and Childish Gambino really are just heavy influences on my music.
Definitely.
Like I listen to American Royalty from Childish Gambino, that old mixtape that he dropped in like 2011. Yeah. 2012, something like that. And like that, like I have a whole song that's based around the song We Ain't Them off of that. Or I have entire songs based off of, I have like entire projects based off of like songs from like Logic off of Everybody or off of Young Sinatra, Welcome to Forever. Like just things like that. Sylvan the Q, some of his newer music is really influencing my sounds, and just dudes like that, like, cause they all make lyrical music, but it's still really beautiful music. Yeah. And that's what I'm trying to get to. Like, I want to make I don't want to make just like shit that cracks. I want to make songs that you can listen to and like just kind of be relaxing. Like you can listen to and go to a party to, or you can like you can study to, or you can do. It
could be background music, but it could also be something you sit down and really digest.
You feel me? It's got background qualities with lyrical and in-depth tendencies. And that's what I'm hoping for. But they most definitely influence my entire musical like stateshood, for lack of a better term.
For sure. And before we finish up, I want to, have you spit some bars in a quick second. But
Gotcha.
album dropping. Do we have a release date for that?
No date just yet. It's coming. It's coming a little bit. I'm really trying to spend some time on it, so it may be a little while. But most definitely when it comes, when I'm finishing in the final products of it, I'm gonna see if I can send it your way and get some feedback.
For sure. So make sure to cop it when it drops. We'll be spinning it on the radio. You already know. And before we finish up, got any shout outs, anything like that?
Let's see. I mean, I'm not gonna hear the end of it unless I give him a shout out. So shout out to my roommate Nehemiah. Shout out to everybody in Rosebud. Shout out to Rohan. Shout out to Tristan. Shout out to my DMV dude. Shout out to Aberration. Shout out to La Soul Child. Shout out to Sylvan the Q. Shout out to everybody at St. John's. My man Wyatt Woodbury. Shout out to Irene. Shout out to everybody like that. And shout out local rappers that I'm really messing with, like Victor Cruz. Shout out to Me V Outside. Shout out Trey Michaels. Shout out Enlighten. Shout out everybody like that. So
for sure.
Absolutely.
It's all about the locals.
You feel me?
You gotta start somewhere. You know?
Exactly.
That.
Yeah.
This one?
I fuck with it. Yeah.
You already know, hip hop made me do it. We're live in the studio. My man Dezmond about to take off. Fire in the booth.
Look. Now I ain't never been a killer, but the way it's looking in advance, please forgive him as I try to rediscover while I stand in the clearing, facing off against the dangerous, the man in the mirror. I've been in my mind, I'm Johnny Fire, Johnny Storm. Queens will get it if I say I'm half the Thunder Brothers. Sure, ain't no Kevin Russell Westbrook, for the Warriors took the shore. Shock 'em like I'm Virgil Hawkins, I'm the face you can't ignore. See the bigger picture, I'm fixing to shift the playhead. 5 shots quick enough to hit 'em, stick and stay dead. Tie and toss careers in a river, have 'em stay there. But far before they preachin', I'm guilty, no Barbra Streisand. Please, my man Dezmond, we equal, man, this ain't fair. The gap between us giants, still smile, Michael Strahan. I paused that line, wait, I made that line in the wait, damn, my opportunity, killing rappers, I'm like the great, yeah, hold up.
Ooh, yeah. Me like a lord. You already know, Dezmond, DJ Toasty Z, fire in the booth, man's not hot.
Man's not hot, you get me.
You feel me?
Yeah.
When a thing went quack, quack, y'all was ducking.
Damn.
All right. Once again, thanks so much for coming in the studio,
absolutely.
my man.
Thank you so much for having me.